What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's beautiful project, our Mark 1 Ford Bronco. This is the resto mod, obviously the off-road styled resto mod. There is a second version that's a bit lower down, meant for street cruising. Not what we're after today. Look at the size of that V8 in there. This one's a bit massive. Let's jump in and have a look. As I said, is the resto mod. It's got 316,000 kilometers on this one, and it's in incredibly bad condition. 14% is the highest bit from the parts on there. Hopefully I got a good deal for this Mark 1 Bronco. No. 6,248 is what we paid, and I could sell it for 4,848, losing out on 1,400, which is a bad start, considering we definitely won't have drag strip winnings because we're on the gravel track testing out our off-road builds this week. That's what we're doing. The engine in this one is the V8 double overhead camera 4x4. We are keeping the 4x4 theme, so we're going to keep the 4x4 engine because it does have a little transfer case just here in the middle, and with 410 factory horsepower, it's not too shabby. We will be throwing performance parts all over this one and trying to do better than we did with our beautiful G-Wagon on a Wednesday. This is it. This is what we're going to be working for. Obviously, our G-Wagon was competition entry. The competition is now finished, and we will know the winner by the time you see this video. I just don't quite know the winner as of yet. I will find out later on this evening. So let's get cracking with our Mark 1 Bronco resto mod. Let's get this beast into the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. In the car wash with the Bronco. Let's get it clean and see what sort of colour it is. There's a lot of rust on this. You can sort of see some of this very light blue, which I'm really liking. And we are probably going to be sticking with a light blue for this beautiful Bronco build. Let's get in and get the interior done. It is a lovely light blue. I don't know if that's the exact blue we're going to be keeping, but I do have a colour scheme in mind with a little bit of a livery. So let's get this beast back onto the lifter. Get that engine ripped out of there. Get everything else stripped down. Let's get in underneath and check for that oil pan. It is very rusty under here. That is the oil pan, though, so let's get all of that drained out. Hopefully there is at least some oil in there. Over 300,000 kilometers. It's probably not going to be good, and not a lot of it either. There we go. That is that out of there. We are in a four-wheel drive. Let's jump down and have a look at the connections. Very close on the connection to the transfer case there. And obviously that drive shaft going down to the back. We definitely need to get that out. So let's crack on with that out. You come and get down the back. Only the two rusty bolts, considering the state of everything. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Then we do need to get this big old transfer case off of here. This one's got all of the rusty bolts on it. There we go. So let's get all of these out here. A little bit of clipping there into the exhaust. You can just about see it. Not the end of the world. We'll deal with it. Starter just up here. Nice. Out you come with your rusty bolts as well. I imagine there's going to be quite a few rusty bolts on this one. So let's just get through them all. None on the gearbox, though, which is a little bit of a surprise. We'll get you out. We'll get these front exhaust sections out as well. And I think we'll just take out this little front drive shaft. Luckily, no bolts on that one, so we don't have to worry about any rust. Let's see if we can pull that big old V8 out of there, though. Down we go, grabbing the crane. And let's give this a go. Will it come out first time? It will indeed. That's what we like. Get the crane put away. Let's see what we got going on inside the engine bay. Well, we've got some very empty liquid containers there. The wishy-washy reservoir and the coolant reservoir. We also have a power steering reservoir just up here. And the brake servo. That's where all the liquids come from. Then we got a radiator with a double fan housing kit there. Cheeky little battery, which we'll take out now. Air filter with all the clips. With all the clips. That is a surprise. ECU's just down here. We've got the fuse box just up here. And down the back, we've got the fuel tank. And that fuel pump, which I'm going to grab. Do we have anything missing from the engine bay? There's a pillar there. Let's find a better spot than that. Doesn't look like it. This looks relatively complete, which I'm definitely happy about. Let's get in and drain some liquids, though. Right-click, additional tools, drain tools. Click and hold on the container, and it'll drain it all out. Nice and easy. I'm going to get the rest of this all stripped out when we come back. It's time to work on this beautiful Bronco's bodywork. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded mechanically for our beautiful Bronco. So let's come in and sort this bodywork out with that fender. What else have we got around here? What is parts? That's definitely a headlight. Out you come. Are any of these sort of cool interior parts anything? Doesn't look like it. Let's get the windshield out. I'm assuming that's a roof piece, rear clamshell. No door, no fender, no piece on there. We've got the rear trunk and the license plate on there. Another one singular light. We like just having the one light. Go around, go around, go around. That looks like it might be everything. Let's just jump in and grab that one single solitary steering wheel out of there. And is that everything? Let's have a look. 1% on there. And we've got nothing in there. We well and truly have got everything out of this Bronco. The frame is at 7%. And obviously I bought the car for a little over 6,000. So I'm not expecting too much from this Bronco. I'm going to say 750 at most. 500. I was still over the odds. Take a quick look at the body shop for this beautiful Bronco Mark 1. 4 pages. It isn't too bad. You do have some interior trim. Now, that isn't what I was looking at a moment ago, which means that stuff was all just planted in there properly. Car part 1 is a couple of different roll cage options. I'm assuming that's for a pickup version, and that's for a solid bed like us. I have no idea what car part 3 is, but we will come to that one, I'm sure. Couple of bumper options. Not sure what we were going to go with. I'm just going to have some fun with this. Make it look pretty wild. Front end, we've got extra rally sort of style lights, which I do quite like, but it does hide the Ford badge. So we will see. A couple of door options. A couple more door options as well. I do quite like black trim on it, so maybe we'll go with that. A couple of fender options for both sides. Then we've got lots of mirror options. Headlight and tail lights. Definitely go for the tinted and the black trim on there. More black trim down the back. Now, do we want a full back cover, or do we like the light cover that we had on? We'll have a play, see what we like. Lots of options for the rear fenders on there. I'm going to have to make sure I do that one right, because I have adjusted the livery to fit with a specific fender, and I never checked to see which one that was, so that's on me. A couple of trunk options at the back there. I don't know what the difference is between the two of them. That looks like it's got some sort of catch on there, and that one hasn't, but I'm not sure. And then a black trim around the windshield. Lots to play around with on this beautiful Bronco, so it's time to get ours all back together. I just want to double check none of this is stuff. No, we're going to start getting ours all back together, then get this beast into the paint shop. It may stay this lovely light blue or a version there of it. I'm not 100% sure yet. I mean, you guys already know because you've seen the thumbnail. Time to get the Bronco all back together. Let's just start getting it on. We'll start with the big old hood, which we kept with the Hood B. Loving that one. Just looks a bit more mean and aggressive. The fenders are the front fender Bs. They've got slightly bigger opening there. Looking pretty cool. In you go and in you go. Obviously, all the Resto Mod ones, so we've got no reflectors or stuff in there like that. Front clamshell is just the front clamshell. And then the front end, if I could get it. No, I don't want the headlight. I want the front end. There we go. Went for front end H. It's got the black trim around the light. And then maybe we'll see if we can get the rest of this coloured a little bit later on. And for the front bumper, we just kept it with the front bumper B, which can be painted. Hopefully body colour. We'll see what it turns out a little bit later. Let's get the tinted headlights in there. Reflecting off of, you've got obviously the 4 main rally style lights and then 2 tinted ones at the side. I haven't done any lighting config work on this one today, so no lights. Well, there may be lights. We shall see. Got the black trim on the windshield, and then on with the black trim with the door cards on there, and then the little black mirror, and in with that window. The rear fenders are the rear fenders F. They've got the same opening size as the fronts. That's for our off-road build. Looking pretty cool on there. Tail lights are the black trim ones. Obviously, go with the rest of the black trim on there. And the trunk is trunk B. I don't really know what the difference is, but they still look good nonetheless. And we got for the rear bumper B on the back there. Body coloured. Hopefully, we'll be able to paint it later on. On with the fender and stuff for this side. Let's get you all in and up to the right place. In you go and in you go. Then what we've got is these internal bits here, which I love. Car part 2. Interior trim. Obviously, we've got a speaker box at the back here, some speakers on the side, the lovely gear shifter, and all of that stuff in there looking great. Then we've got the car part 1, which is the roll cage going up through the top. And then the last piece is the rear clamshell. That is literally it, that piece in the body shop. If we just go in very quickly, car part 3, we didn't need it for this one. I'm assuming there is a different model that needs it, or as far as I can tell, we don't need it. As for the plates for this one today, for the front, we've got no tarmac. Pretty sweet. And then down at the back, we've got no problem. No tarmac, no problem for this beautiful little off-road Bronco. Looking pretty cool. Let's get in and get the interior in as well. We've kept the same steering wheel, which was the steering wheel 8. And then for the seats, I don't know why I tried to change sides there. I've just gone for my Nismo racing style seats, because I feel like we're going to need to be strapped in to this beautiful little Bronco. Now, is that everything? 100%, 100%, 100% fantastic. Let's get this beast into the paint shop and pick some colours. Here she is then, looking beautiful. We did say we may keep her in that light blue, and it looks absolutely fantastic. The livery we've gone for today is one of my own creations, but it's only a reinvention of one of the original French toast liveries that came with this one. All we've done is took it from the side and then added it a bit around the front. You can see where it doesn't quite match up. That took me ages to get that to line up to there, and to there it doesn't quite work either. On this side, it's even worse on that bit, but a little bit better on that bit. And then down at the back, we also did the same, bringing this one in, as you see. Again, not quite getting it perfect on there. There's nothing I could do about it, unfortunately. It was either above it or below it, and that was the choice we had. But it still looks awesome nonetheless. From a distance, you'll never even notice it. We did also have to bring this trough up here for the big off-road wheels, as the normal one sort of went around there. So we had to bring this trough up to take into account the rest of this wheel arch, and also change the outline of this piece into black. You can see that they have got red in the stripe there, so it's black and red, white and red down there. Looking pretty sweet. We have changed a few other colours as well. This is now white on the front end, and the front bumper is now white, along with the rear bumper white as well. They were just body coloured on there. They look pretty good on that. As for the interior, we've gone for some white centres in my Recaro seats. The red stitching, it matches the little bit of trim around the outside. Also the bit of trim on the door panels as well. When we went for some white on that beautiful steering wheel, I think it looks pretty epic. Very, very pleased with this one. Looking fantastic. Very blue in the engine bay, so maybe we go black and white mostly on the engine with a little splash of blue here and there, just for good measure. So let's get this beast back on the lift. I'm going to get everything painted, and then we can start reassembly. Everything's painted, ready to go back on our beautiful Bronco. Absolutely loving the look of this one. Let's get in and start getting these shocks together. We got white shocks, blue springs and black caps on there, just fitting in all of the colours from the build on the actual shock itself. But let's get in underneath and start assembling some of this. The front suspension cross member in a beautiful white. We've got the steering rack in a black, the sway bar in a blue, and that front drive axle in a blue as well. Rubber bushings in you go. We'll just get them done now and out of the way. There we go, and there we go. Then we got the front knuckle in a white with the lower and upper suspension arms both in that beautiful matte blue on there. In you go. Bit of a better angle for you. And there we go in there as well at the top. Looking nice. Then we got that beautiful shock. No, that's the sway bar end link. We'll go for the shock instead in there, and it's white, blue and black. I think that looks fantastic. Sway bar end links just in a cheeky little black. Then we've got the knuckle cover in a blue with the front wheel hub in a black on there. We've got the little bearing, and then the front drive axle also in a little black connecting into the drive axle at the front there. Then we've got the brake disc, brake pad, and then for the brake caliper, we've gone with a matte red on this one today, although we've adjusted the colour ever so slightly, maybe taken some of the mateness out of it, but a little splash of red in there just for good measure. Inner tie rod in a white with the outer tie rod in a blue, and that's all of the front section done there. Looking quite nice, mostly in white and blue with a little splash of black and a tiny, tiny splash of red just to sort of balance it out. The rear drive axle, that's in a blue. Then we've got the rear shock absorber in a white. And then the leaf spring underneath in a lovely little white with some rubber bushings in there. One on this side and one on this side. In you go. There we go. Now we've got the rear knuckle in a white with the wheel hub in a blue. The leaf spring plates in a blue with the two U-bolts in a just a little black, just to sort of separate the colours a little bit more, keeping a splash of that black down the back here. Solid rear drive axle also in that black. In you go. Then we've got the brake disc, brake pad, and that lovely red brake caliper on there just to finish it off. There we go. That's the rear suspension and front suspension. One half of it done at least anyway. Up here, we've got a lovely little blacked out fuel tank with a matte blue fuel pump. That's a lot lighter than the rest of it. Maybe it's just where the light is shining on it. We shall see. Hopefully not, but it looks good nonetheless. There we go. I'm going to crack on and get the rest of the suspension all finished. We'll come back and sort out this beautiful engine bay before building that 4x4 V8 engine. Well, what do you think of that suspension? Do let me know in the comments down below. Looking beautiful, in my opinion. Mostly in the blue and white, with a little bit of red and a little bit of black for good measure. But let's jump up. Let's get on and get this engine bay all sorted out, starting with that big old battery just there. Then we've got the power steering reservoir, the coolant reservoir, and the wishy-washy reservoir just up there, with the cheeky brake servo and the ECU stage 3 type A just in down there underneath. We've already got the fuse box in a attempted body match blue. I don't really know if that's quite worked or not. Then we've got the radiator in a blue, but unfortunately this only goes metallic. This is like the only bit of metallic paint in here. fan housing kits in a black with the 2 fans both in a chrome blue. That is literally all of the metallic-y blues on the whole build, but it looks pretty good nonetheless. If we spin around here, we've got the air filter, which we've just done in a black. Let's get it in with the wonderful air filter and the cover on the top there, and then the clips are all just in a beautiful little white, wrapping around the outside. There we go. There we go. And there we go on there. That's all of the engine bay, I think. I'm never quite 100%. But if we come out and step out, this is not quite the normal full black. I've taken some of the shine out of it, so it gets the similar sort of shine as these sort of black pieces on here. That's what I attempted, at least. Anyway, I don't know how good of a job I've done. Fuse box is hidden. And that little radiator there, you can just see the gleam of that metallic-y blue coming off the top. It doesn't look too bad, just a little bit out of place. But let's go and build that beautiful V8 engine. I've already got some of the stuff on. We've obviously got 2 engine heads on in the black. The engine block is in a white, but as you can see, it's grey on the main body. And then the little accessory bits that stick out are in a white. And the oil pan is in a beautiful little white down there. But let's jump up and let's get this stage ready to go. So we've got in each head, there are 2 camshafts. There are 4 spark plugs. In you go, and in you go there and there. And then 2 cam gears on the end. It is nice and simple. So in total, you need 4 cam gears, 4 camshafts, and 8 spark plugs. And that's the whole of the innards done. And then we've got 2 lovely little timing belts. One here, ready for the timing cover to go on in a white. Let's get you all bolted up, looking pretty good. The water pump is in a cheeky little blue, and pretty much everything else on the front here is all blacked out. So let's just get some of it on. Crankshaft pulley black, alternator black, power steering pump black, and then the water pump pulley is also in a black. We've also got all the little idle rollers in a black, so I'm going to get all of them done, and I'll be back in a second. That's all the idle rollers for the moment. Let's get in the belts. We've got a serpentine belt here, a serpentine belt over here, another idle roller just in there. That's the last one. And then we've got a little belt tensioner just in the blue on there, just to add a splash more of blue to the front end. Let's crack on, though. We've got engine heads. These are in a white, an incredibly, incredibly bright white, because of the plastic on the part. Just really takes any color you put on it and just magnifies it. Brightness level, absolutely insane. Then we've got ignition coils. Let's get them all in. And then we've got a lovely coil cover on the top, which is in that body matched blue. Body matched blue. Then we've got a cheeky little oil filter down here in the back, black, and the fuel filter up here, just in a little white. Let's crack on, get some more of this in. The bolts at the top, not at the bottom. Let's get it all bolted up, get them ignition coils in, and that wonderful coil cover, and then we'll crack on and get the rest of this engine all finished up and ready to get dropped into our beautiful little Bronco. Ignition coils in, coil cover on the top. Then we're going to do the intake manifold. This is in a lovely blue. Very, very pleased with that one. Took me a little while to match these colours in and to attempt to match them to the engine bay. We shall see. Fuel rails, they are painted in a little matte red, just to blend in with the matte brakes we've got going on there, and the little red trim we've got going around the outside, plus a little bit on the inside of the doors. Then I think the last piece is the exhaust manifolds. They are in a white, lovely colouring of the white, and when you use it without forcing anything, you get these lovely little weld marks on them, and I think they look fantastic with the weld marks on there, so very pleased with that. In you go on the other side. We do have one last piece that I have just remembered, and I forgot while I was painting the whole thing as well, which is this throttle at the back, which we've done in a black because that would be another metallic-y piece, and I didn't want too much of that metallic-y blue. And realistically, I didn't want any of that metallic-y blue, but I didn't want to do that radiator in a black. But there we go. That's the engine all built, ready to get dropped into our beautiful little Bronco. So let's get it out there. Let's get it dropped in. Over we go. Inside the engine bay you go. Get this crane put away. And let's take a look. That's looking pretty good. I did a good job with the blues on these pieces. It isn't quite perfect, but I don't think you'll ever quite get it perfect because of the materials on there. At least not at the moment anyway. Something is being worked on in the background. It is a mod, not officially, that hopefully is going to change all of this and make painting so much easier for people like me. That engine looks beautiful in there, though. Incredibly pleased with it. But let's get it up in the air. We've got some drive axles to go in, or drive shafts to go in, plus the gearbox and the rest of that exhaust setup. So let's get it underneath. We've got the first piece, which is our gearbox, which is in a white, looking beautiful. We took some of the brightness off of this white, just to sort of try and blend it to some of the other bits. You can see a little tiny bit of grey in there, but it is what it is. The starters in the body match blue, and then we've got the transfer case also in the body match blue on there, looking pretty good. Then we've got the drive shafts, one at the back. In you go, nicely done, and down there, just in a cheeky little black, same as the front one. That is also in a black. This one doesn't quite reach, but we use our imagination, as we have to do sometimes in this game. Then we've got the front exhaust section. Front exhaust sections, there we go. Both in the white. Middle mufflers also in the white on there. And then we've just got the rear mufflers. In you go. And in you go in that beautiful white. Incredibly pleased with that. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Let's take a step back. We're going to crouch down and walk all the way out. The white exhaust braking, tearing that up, just separating all of the colours in there. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. Incredibly pleased with that. Back down on the ground you go. That's it. We're just going to do some wheels, get some windows tinted, which actually I think I'm not going to do because I've been leaving the windshields untinted, especially whilst at the gravel track. The sun reflecting really stops you from being able to see with a bit of tint on there. So I'm probably not going to tint any of this because we've got no windows at the back anyway. So we're not going to tint the windows. We're going to get some wheels done. And liquid's topped up. Get this beautiful car outside in the sun. Well, here she is, the Resto Mod Ford Bronco Mark 1 off-roader. Looking absolutely incredible in this light blue with a black, red and white livery on there. Looking pretty cool. Inside, we got some white on the seats, white on the steering wheel, and that red strip on the doors. That's nothing to do with us. That's just how it comes in the first place. Looking beautiful. Let's talk about these rims. This is the rim 1A. You've definitely seen me use them once or twice before. Possibly my favourite rims. I think they're absolutely stunning. I love the deep dish and the two-tone on them. We've gone for a black and white two-tone, sort of blending in with the body this time. Looking pretty sweet. The rims are a 19-inch rim. The tyres are a 305 width tyre with a 55 profile on there. And no ET needed for this one. Absolutely fits perfectly. Loving this. It looks absolutely insane. I also love the white lettering on the Ford at the back there. We do also have some red lettering on the Ford at the front. Can we see it from anywhere? Just about inside the little gaps. Looking pretty sweet. But let's jump inside. Take a seat. Check out this beautiful interior. Even got Bronco on the glove box door there, or whatever you might want to call that. Looking awesome. Absolutely incredible. Let's get it started and hear that V8 4x4 engine. Pretty standard. Nice tick over there. Good idle. Give it some gas. Sounding pretty mean at the top end as well. Obviously no turbo whistles or superchargers on this bad boy. Just the normal mean V8 whine. Love to hear it. But let's get this one onto the dyno. See what its horsepower is. What its drag rating will be. Although we're not going to need it because we're just going to the gravel track again. Here we are then on the dyno with our Resto Mod Mark 1 Ford Bronco, a V8 double overhead cam, a 4x4 engine with 410 factory horsepower. How much have we added today? And what will its drag rating be, just for fun? A gain of 461 horsepower, more than a whole new engine, 113% gain. Very, very impressed with that, especially as we didn't add any intercoolers or anything like that, as we normally would to increase power. 871 is the new horsepower for this beautiful Bronco. We would have got in the top class in the drag rating of A of 541, but we're definitely not doing that today. This one is for the gravel strip. Gravel strip? Keep doing that for the gravel track. But let's have a look at the gearbox tuning setup I've gone for this one. It's a 3.14 ratio. We got 70k in first gear up to 280k in the fifth gear there. It should be quite interesting to see how this handles on the gravel track. We've obviously got no carburetors, but we do have a fully tuned stage 3 ECU in this one as well, which has given us plenty more additional power. So let's get it onto the gravel track and see what we can do with our Mark 1 Bronco. It's the final day of us playing around with the 4x4s and this wonderful gravel track. I've really enjoyed this week playing in the gravel, not drag racing, just something a little bit different. So we're going to do the same thing as we did in the last two. We're going to stick inside the vehicle for this. We're going to do a standing lap and see what sort of times we get, and then a flying lap and see what sort of times we get. Standing laps so far, we've got a 156.892 from the G-Wagon and a 156.906 from the Defender. And then flying laps, we got a 157.998 from the G-Wagon, but a 148.141 from the Defender. That's what we're aiming to beat today. So let's just get into it. Let's get this one started. Let's go. Full send off the line. There we go. We're not going to show the full first lap, but if anything funny does happen, I will make sure to include it. So we're probably just going to skip most of this out. Oh, if I can get around the first corner. Bit slow there, but it is our standing lap. I'm not too worried. But yeah, we're going to get through this one, and then we'll join back in for the full flying lap. As I said, okay, unless anything funny happens, I'll bring you back in for it. Here we go then, coming up to the first real challenge with the Bronco. We got the jump. I've messed this jump up many a times today, and that was almost no exception. Does sort of straighten out. You can get a bit of power down on here. Oh, he says, as he messes it up massively. Let's just keep going on that one. Now we get a bit of a straightaway with a subtle left in it. If I can not turn it too hard and hit that tree or those trees. Ouch. We'll try and keep it gentle and steady. Bit of braking for this right hand. Another tree. Let's keep going. Let's get this beast down across the start-finish line and get on with our flying lap. There we go. We're into the flying lap. Let's see if we can beat that 1:58.882 for the standing lap. And I've totally messed up the first corner. That's what you get for trying to read times whilst racing. So let's just keep going. Let's just keep pushing our little Bronco. Down we go. Then we got quite a big left turn. So let's get this one. Can I get the jump right here in this one for this lap? I didn't on the first lap. You probably saw it, but let's keep going. I'm going to come off the gas a little bit just for the jump and then back on it as we go up the other side. And brake and whip. There we go. And we're going to be bouncing around just a little bit here as we go around to the right. Get this beast going. Quite a sharp, harsh right turn here. Are we doing it well? This handles so much better than that G-Wagon, if I'm being honest. Let's get it around to the left. Bit of slow there, but you know what they say. Slow and steady wins the race. We'll find that one out at the end when we cross the start-finish line. Let's just keep going with this beautiful Bronco. Up we go. We do need to nip down to the left, but there is a tree in our way, and I didn't back up far enough. That is going to cost us big time. Damn trees. Always in my way. Let's keep getting this one around, though. You never know. We might pull it out of the bag somewhere a bit later because we haven't had the best set run of times with our off-road so far. That was not bad, actually, he says. And then he accelerated too hard and totally ruined it. That's what we do here. Accelerate hard and break everything. Let's just keep going around. My least favourite corner where I always hit that tree. But 2 laps now with this Bronco. And I haven't hit that tree. But I've hit plenty of other ones. So let's just go, go, go. Where are we going? I've lost sight of the track a little bit. Oh, there it is. Off down to the left. Then we're going to come a bit more to the left. And then a big old right turn. Slam down on the brakes and slowly accelerate ourselves around the corner there. Not too shabby. And across the start-finish line, even with a tree stop, we managed to get a 1:52.864. Obviously, not as good as our run with that beautiful Land Rover Defender, but we did manage to get a 1:48.141. But better than we managed to do with that beautiful G-Wagon that managed to do a 1:57.998 on the flying lap. So there we go. Out of the 3 we've had the off-road vehicles, in last place is the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon with a 1:57.998 on the flying lap. In second place is this beautiful Bronco with a 1:52.864. And in first place is that stunning Land Rover Defender we did on Monday with a 1:48.141. Let's get the Bronco back to the garage, see how much we can sell this one on for, and try and make some tasty little profit. All finished with the beautiful Mark 1 Resto Mod Bronco. Did pretty well on the gravel track there. Its standing lap was 1:58.882, but its flying lap, bringing it in second overall for the 4x4 week, is a 1:52.862. Very impressed with that one. Not the fastest in the world, but then it is an off-road beast. Not necessarily designed for all-out speed, but still very, very impressed with this beautiful car. Loving this interior in here. Loving the colour scheme as well. What do you guys think? Do let me know in the comments below. But let's talk some facts and figures about our beautiful little Bronco. Now, we bought it for $6,248 at the very beginning of the episode, and we could have sold it at a loss and lost out on $1,406. But we didn't do that. We spent a further $80,763 modifying, upgrading, tuning, and painting this beautiful Bronco, putting our total spend at $87,011. We will be able to make some money from this beautiful little Bronco. Let's get in. Let's find out. Let's take a look. Very high mileage or kilometerage, I guess, is probably more apt from this Mark 1 Bronco. Now all 100% complete, looking absolutely stunning. Incredibly pleased with how this one turned out. The engine ramped up from 410 horsepower to 871, and we just kept it with the smallest engine in there. We could have swapped it out to a much bigger one, but we wouldn't have had the little transfer case just here to really finish it off. But can we make some money from our beautiful Bronco? Let's have a look. We spent 80,000. No, we spent 87,011 altogether. That is close. 88,109 minus obviously what we spent leaves us with 1,098 a profit, which is very, very low indeed. Was expecting a little bit more from our Resto Mod Bronco, but there we go. We spent a lot on it. We can make a tiny little bit of money, so we'll definitely take it. This one is modded in by Payne. There is a link in the description below if you want to grab it for yourself, and also a link for the gravel track is down there as well by Rob G. Beautiful work by him. So if you want to grab either of them, link in the description below, or you can just find them on the Steam Workshop. So it's time to say goodbye to the beautiful Bronco. Off you go with our tiny just over 1,000 profit. But what have we got up next? We finished off-road week, or 4x4 week, so we're going to do something wild next. This is a brand new Patreon exclusive from Payne, aka Deadbob777. This is a Lamborghini tractor. Can I get in? That'll do. Lamborghini tractor. This is the Lamborghini Nitro 120, and this car version is called Are You Not Entertained? Because I believe it's going to be a little bit wild. We got it from the auction house. It's in pretty bad condition. The actual parts, not too bad. Everything else, feeling pretty sorry for itself. Did I get a good deal? No. I bought it for 34,085 and I could sell it for 31,192. Losing out on 2,893 before we even begin. But what engine is in this Lamborghini tractor? It's got the V12 M158 engine with 1,400 factory horsepower. This one is going to tear apart the drag strip. We may even end up with a new speederboard champion. Who knows? This is going to be for next time. Make sure you join us back here on Monday for the beautiful Lamborghini tractor and its insane V12 engine. It's going to be pretty wild. We will be hitting up back on the drag strip. What did you think of today's wonderful video? The beautiful Mark 1 Bronco. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Drop us a cheeky little like, and by all means smash that subscribe button and share this video far and wide, especially if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to join us back here on Monday for more Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 videos. Have a beautiful weekend, whatever you're getting up to, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.